Can you allow me share my screen? Can you give me permission to share my screen? Still waiting for the permission to share my screen. Okay, thank you. Um, just give me a second. Mm. Can you see my screen?
Yes, and we can.
Okay. Um, welcome everyone again to today's session. I think last time I can't can anyone remind me where we stopped?
We stop at that sales funnel.
Oh, okay. Okay. We stopped. Yeah. All right. Thank you. So yeah, welcome once again. So I'll just try to conclude. This shouldn't take a long time. Then I'll see if we can just say one or two things. I spoke about just in revision and in summary before we go here. Remember, we've spoken about several things. We've spoken about the sachet economy and the four P's of marketing. We've spoken about the STP, segmentation, targeting, and positioning, and how again you need to choose your battleground, the right place to target as a business owner. We've spoken about the and understanding the market before you then strategize and using the five C's as your market orientation. We spoke about the importance of using the market orientation rather than just the product or the selling orientation. And those were very critical things again for pushing market. We looked at the case study of Transion and how they were able to optimize for the African market. Again, like I said, they understood the problems and they optimized with the solution. And we've spoken about how this is critical for marketing when you're looking at product. We looked at the VRIO framework and how you have to ensure that this is critical for everything you do. Uh, Again, we'll just go to where we stopped, the funnel being a very critical place because understanding that there is the bigger funnel. Funnel is like, when you are pouring fuel in a generator set, right? The top of the funnel is wider. The bottom where the fuel itself goes in is smallest. So at the top of the funnel, you have a chance to get a lot of people. And at this point, you have to find a lot of things to generate leads. It could be through advertising, through social media, through mention on media. Maybe you want because depending on where you now understand when you understand your STP, right? Which segment am I playing in? Who am I targeting that segment? How do I position for that segment? The moment you then position your product well for that segment and you target them properly, then you can create awareness, several mark advertising awareness in that for that target, right? And after that, you need to engage them. And to engage them, we call that section lead nurturing. You need to nurture them, send them emails frequently, newsletters, have what we call lead magnets. Talk about the problem you are solving, right? Not even because people do not buy products, people buy solution to their problems, right? If your problem is hunger, you buy food. You don't just go and buy Iabisi's rice or sweet sensation rice because you want to eat rice. Most times it's because of hunger. And sometimes it's not just hunger. Sometimes you have a sweet tooth. You just want something sweet. Now it is not just rice that is an option. You have option of buying maybe a cookie, maybe a staple food, maybe whatever. Now, these are options of how to solve sweet tooth. These are pain points, right? And those pain points are, you know, ways, are issues you can solve with a particular solution. And when people are in that consideration stage, they are looking for what's the best way to solve the problem I am currently facing. And that is where we have product information. You need a lot of product information. Sometimes you can even tell them free trial. Why not try my product for free and you get XYZ in you get XYZ in maybe freebies. Those kind of things really uh, help. Also, we need understanding the purchase process. Now, when you have taken them, you've generated lead in the funnel, yeah, in the consideration stage, you then need to close up that. And that close up is mostly for B2B product is a one-on-one. B2B means business to business. For business to customer, B2C product, sometimes it's still one to many. Maybe you have a payment gateway in your app. If you have an app solution, right? That is, you have to make sure that it is frictionless and ensure that people can go from consideration to sales. And if it's a B2B, you have to ensure that maybe you have product demos, you have those who are doing e-commerce, you have shopping carts where people can, close up that sales process. Ensure that you reduce confusion in the middle space, in that middle funnel. You have to ensure that there are a lot of product education, product information for your product. Go and start thinking of how do you make people, because organic still sells, organic marketing sells, sometimes without a lot of money, right? Number one, how do I make people know that my product solve sometimes tangential problems that are not even, you know, um, that they feel they don't have. I am maybe someone needs money. You do agri finance and agri tech, right? How do you ensure that that person sees my kind of product as a solution to his problem, right? And in the bottom, you have to reduce any payment issue, ensuring that you have easy checkout problem. Now, as we get to this point, I also spoke about, I think I spoke about this a bit rushing the last time, that there is a thing with relationship. And relationship building is a very critical thing. You have to use social proof. You have to ensure that you have testimonials, right? So if there are people, you can even do free trials during the consideration stage, right? And ensure that you get social proof from them. And sometimes you want to use pay on delivery where feasible because of, the Nigerian situation. Then people buy from people. People buy from people. I said this the last time. People buy from people. Ensure that you form a good relationship. You are not just an anonymous guy, anonymous founder, anonymous entrepreneur. You're ensuring that you are an innovator that people can see. What's the art of closing? Again, especially for B2B products. Sometimes people have objections. How you undo those objections are critical in sales. There are a lot of objections in sales. People say, hey, your product is too expensive. It means that there is when someone says your product is too expensive, what does that mean? It means that probably you have low value perception for that product. People look at your product and feel like, I've seen XYZ product before. I feel like your product. So what is the benchmark? What are they comparing it with? So you have to now compare to the cost of not having your product. What are they losing by not having your product? It helps them to understand that it is not too expensive. Or someone says, I love what you have shared with me. I'll think about it. In sales process, we see that kind of underlying reason as a lack of urgency. We see it as, the person is trying to just weigh in their options and all of that. But you want to reduce that urgency problem. You have to introduce some form of scarcity when a lot of times people are saying, I'll think about it, I'll think about it, I'll think about it, I'll think about it. How do you ensure that there is a time limited bonus? That, sir, I know you're thinking about it, but if you do this in 1 week, if you buy from us in 1 week, if you buy from us in 2 days, you are going to have 20% off. That is a time limited bonus. And some people will tell you, is it durable? Will this thing last? That's the local parlance. Will it last? Right? People are running away from having too much liability around them, too much risk. Sometimes, if you believe that your product is durable, will stand the test of time, yeah, you can do some form of money bank guarantee. But if you think that, and that's why I tell people build products that last. If you build a product or either a software product, hardware product, whatever physical product, whatever kind of product, ensure that it is a good, in quotes, original product, right? Ensure that your system is great. And if you now want that to work well, you want to implement a money back guarantee. This is the art of closing the deals. To close deals, you have to ensure that you understand how to deal with objections. A lot of people have objections. Dealing with objections is what differentiates business A and business B, is what helps you to be profitable while someone else is not profitable. Now, let's see, how do we measure our campaigns? We've seen the funnel. We've seen how to, push people through the funnel. Now, how do we measure what we are doing? I'll start with what we call in marketing the law of double jeopardy. It tells us that small brands would always be penalized twice, right? And what are the two penalties in these two laws? The first penalty is that you always will have lower reach as a small brand because fewer people will buy your product. You have a low reach. Your small brands, you're already having this double jeopardy. The first one is that you can't penetrate the market a lot. You are new, you don't have money. So you have to first understand that few people will buy you at the beginning. Number two, you have lower loyalty. The few people who buy you from the first jeopardy They do so less often. They do not buy you frequently, which increases your CAC, which we call cost of customer acquisition. So if your cost of acquisition of customer is high because you do not have recurring customer, it means that you have a law of double jeopardy. And what I do tell people that have these two issues is that you have to find a way to grow with new customers because you already know that you have these two problems. You have lower reach and lower loyalty. So number one, at the top of your funnel, your awareness stage, you need to be very brutal with it. You have to ensure that you get a lot of people to know about your product, write about your product, talk about your product, go online, do reels about your product, talk about this, and not just your product, rather, talk about the solution you're solving. Every day, talk about the solution you're solving on your WhatsApp status, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. Talk about the problems you're solving. Because you cannot grow by loyalty alone, you don't have loyalty. There is no one that's loyal to a new brand. You must grow through getting new customers from the awareness stage. And that's how you then measure those who are becoming your new customers. Now, as we know that we have the law of double jeopardy, how do we now scale? It is not all jeopardy, it's not all tragedy with marketing. There must be a way to scale for bankability. There must be a way to scale for growth, for revenue. Because if you don't have revenue, if you can't grow your revenue, you don't have a business. So marketing is about growing your revenue. It's critical. And investors look at your unit economics. How much profit does a new customer add to your business? Or are they just adding costs to your business? So going away from just the founder hustle, how can you create marketing systems that improves your unit economics? Let's understand two key things. In marketing, we call something CAC, customer acquisition cost. This is how much you have to know the number. So you meet someone on the road, an investor wants to invest. It needs to know some of your marketing, metric. What is your cost of customer acquisition, your CAC? How do you calculate that? Total marketing spend divided by every new customer that you acquire in a given period. So if I spend 10,000 naira to buy data for my business, right, to advertise, 50,000 to run Facebook ad, right? I just share with people on WhatsApp. I'm sharing with people on WhatsApp. It is the cost of data is in that, but no cost of advertising, right? So it means that I spent 10,000 on data, which is helping me to reach people on Instagram and Facebook without advertising. 50,000 on Instagram and Facebook advertising. That's 60,000 is my total marketing spend. And let's say in this, both my organic and non-organic ratio, I have acquired 100 new customers in the month of February. How much is my customer acquisition cost? Who can tell me in the chat? What is my customer acquisition CAC? I spent 10,000 running ads. I spent 50,000 naira, sorry, 10,000 on data, right? To buy data. I spent 50,000 naira on Facebook and Instagram advertising. How much is, and I got 100 customers, right? What is my customer acquisition cost? I'm waiting for your chats, people. I'm waiting for your chats. Okay, one person has replied. 600. Hmm. Can you show working? 700. Okay. Tell me how you got 600. Tell me how you got 700. Chineye said 600. Afolabi Doka said 700. You want to tell me how you got 600 and said, just show your working on the group, right? Toluwani says 600. Okay. So tell me, I want to know how you calculate your customer acquisition cost. Put it on the group. As I'm waiting for you to, okay, as I'm waiting for you to share 60,000 divided by 100, that's 600. Okay, that's correct. So you add the 10,000 and the 50,000, that's 60,000 divided by new customer acquired, that's 100. CAC is correct. So every one of you must now know what every month you must be able to determine your cost of customer acquisition, right? Every month you must be able to determine your cost of customer acquisition. Now your LTV, lifetime value. It is how much profit that you are expected to get from every new customer, one customer, right, over the period of that uh, business relationship. That's how you calculate your lifetime value. So, and how much, if you, I don't have the formula here of the lifetime value, but I'm going to share soon. But if you, uh, just give me a second, please. Okay. So the give me a second. I'm just trying to respond to something. Just give me a second, please. All right. So let's get back to this. So for the lifetime value, as I said, you have to ensure that we can get the total profit. And in understanding the total profit we can get from a customer over the duration of that relationship you have to understand how to calculate that lifetime value. And so that this will help your pricing also, right? Because you have to understand, number one, the total revenue you can get from that client and the number of transactions. So let's assume that you say for a client, you feel like you're going to have um 10 million naira in a month in a year rather for total revenues. That's what you think a customer can give you. That's the lifetime revenue value, not lifetime value, right? Now you divide that by how many transactions would they have? 5 transactions, 10 transactions. So let's assume they need your product 10 times in a month. So that's 10 times in a year. Or let's put it by quarter, 4 times in a year. So 10 million divided by 4, right, is already the average purchase value because you have gotten the total revenue you are expected to get, right? You are dividing it by the number of transactions that in that period of that relationship, right? Then you now have to times it by the purchase, right? How much is the how much do they purchase frequently, right? That's how you get your lifetime value. And one thing, the way we used to measure the bankable target is your lifetime value must be 3 times your customer acquisition cost for every customer. If you don't do it that way, the unit economics in marketing will not be accurate. So you have to ensure that you do 3 times the CAC costs. So after you have calculated your CAC, you have to now calculate your lifetime value, which I've said is understanding total revenue divided by the number of transactions times the purchase, right? That's how you get your lifetime value. Now, the bankable target is now understanding that the lifetime value has to be greater than 3 times the CAC. That's the lowest it should be. So it can be 5 times, it can be 10 times your cost of customer acquisition. Without that, you are not balanced in marketing. I don't want to do so much in. Now, how do you do lean scaling? I want to leave a bit of time for questions, so I'll just try to be a bit faster. How do we ensure that we have, you can growth hack your marketing? Number one, when I'll do it in 2 P's, price and promotion. For price, ensure that you have two different kind of, you can test two different type of price as you are starting for two different segments. Remember I told you segment, target, and position. So you can position because people, the biggest brands, they always try to settle for the top user. So you want to go down the lower segment, right? People who might have a lower entry, lower barrier to entry, right? You target them and maybe with a lower price. Also, for those that are running ads, your headlines, you have to try A and B testing, ensuring that you test two different kind of headlines and understand how different positionings, right? Maybe you are selling a car, right? If I'm selling a car, different people buy cars for different reasons. I can position my cars as the best transportation platform to take you from point A to B, right? I can position my car as a luxury house, a home away from home, regardless of where you are. That I can tell you that typically people spend 5, 10, 20% of their time in their cars. And you want to ensure that your car is luxurious, home away from home. I can sell comfort. I can sell esteem, ego, that this car, whenever you take it anywhere, is going to be something that people will respect you with. That is it. So I'm selling cars, but I'm positioning it as different play. I can tell you, our cars, we are not just selling cars. We are selling a platform for luxury. That's how I'm positioning. I'm positioning to a kind of segment. So my segment can be demography, HNIs, high network individuals, but that's too big. Who are target? Because an HNI can be like a Dangote that does not wear too much expensive wristwatch, that does not think like luxury, outlook of luxury is key, but it's an HNI. That's it. I've seen HNIs that they are comfortable with something not too, it can be expensive but doesn't look luxurious. No, but I'm selling a look luxurious car. So I want HNIs that want trendy, luxurious cars. Those are my targets. And they should be because I feel like the HNIs that are older might not like my, flashy Ferraris. I want people from ages 40 to 60. Those are the ones I'm targeting. And that will help me now growth hack because it's lean scaling. I don't have all the money in the world for marketing. So when I go to Facebook or Instagram to target, I'm not just there clicking on things. I already know how to position for this market. And for virality, I can also ensure that I build a product that uh, others can join, can be viral. And incentive, like I said before, ensuring that you have a referral system for people to join. Now you have to disrupt from the bottom. There is a model we call the Christensen's model in marketing. It shows us that incumbents or people who have the largest market share, they focus on high-end customers. So they are already overserved. High-end customers in your target or in your segment, the segment you're looking at. Now, as a new entrant yourself, how do you now win? Because the high-end customers, sometimes they are taking that when I see people, new people say, oh, I want to target the luxurious market. It's good, you can, but there are a lot of people targeting them because they help the bottom line. For you, you have to first try to serve the people that look like unprofitable for now because they can even be your test case. So you have to test them with a very simpler, cheaper model. Start with the sachet market. I tell people in Nigeria because they said from a research that 90 or 95, 90% of Nigerians, 90% of Nigerians do not have maybe more than 500,000 or 1 million naira in their accounts. That is a huge number. When I saw that number, I was shocked. So it means that people are not liquid. It's a truth. It's not something you need prayers to open your eyes for. So if you now have a market that people are not liquid and you are building a product that people have to pay, the average bankable amount is 500,000 naira. Or let's even push it forward, 1 million naira, which is not true. Let's say 500,000. And you are building a product that costs 250,000 naira. Who do you want to? Are you selling to the top 10%? How would you reach them? It is a oversaturated market. So what if that 250,000 you are doing a solar technology? I saw someone doing solar, right? How do you now break down that 250,000 naira to 3 or 4 phases? That's your sachet. And say, okay, we can ramp up our style, our model in 4 phases. Phase one is 50,000 naira. You need that in the first 2 months. Phase two, another 50 or 75,000. Phase three, 100. So you now help people to be able to get, yeah, it makes you slower to reach the top, but you know that one, you have a very good unit economics. Two, you have recurring revenue. Three, you build loyalty, right? You also improve quality over time by using these people to test your case. And once incumbents are trapped, then you can move up market because you are now a disruptor in the market, right? And as we get there, how do we now apply this scalable advantage to your business using marketing? And uh, there is this guy, McGrath, he spoke about a model called transient advantage. That is, he's saying that the market system is transient. The market system sometimes is not sustainable. You don't have a sustainable advantage. No one has an advantage forever. So because we all know that no one has an advantage forever. 10 years ago, OPay was not leading the market. 20 years ago, GT Bank was, maybe 15 years ago, GT Bank was one of the top trendy bank in Nigeria. Not so much again. It was that bank where everyone wants to get an account, every young person. So you have to quickly in a dynamic market like Nigeria, we have transient advantage. And what does transient advantage means? It means that you have to be fast sometimes. Launch, fast experimentation, experiment a lot because again, you want to exploit the market. You want to extract maximum profit and you want to know when to disengage. Sometimes, as you are doing that business, you want to be looking at the next business model because it is a transient market, and a market that things are so dynamic that things do not last. So launch, exploit, and know when to disengage. So quickly launch. If you have not launched, start now. Experiment, find people, go online, start writing, do some bit of SEO, open blogs that you can write on, right? There is a blog called medium.com. Go on Medium and write about your business, write about the problems you are solving. Talk about people respect, people who understand the product, the solutions they are bringing to the market and the pain point they are solving for, right? Now, you have to understand few things. Number one, as we build towards transient advantage, does your entire team understand the customer? These are the checklists you have to know for your doing marketing. Who is your customer? So, and this is where I would now ask you on the chat to go on the chat and define your customer. Let me know who you think your customer is now on the chat. Who is your customer? Because who are you selling to? Give me with all the ways I've told us how to describe our customers in the segment. Tell me, who do you think your customer is? So before, I know some of you are one-man team. So it means that you must be able to understand your customers. It's the biggest C in the 5C, the customer. Who is your customer? So I want you, as I keep explaining, I want you to define your customer on chat right now. Who is your customer? How do you understand your customer? Also, is your growth strategy driven by innovations or just acquisition? Do you just want to acquire, or you are also innovating, right? And as CEO, are you just a CEO, a founder? That's what you call yourself. Or you are the chief customer advocate. You are talking, you know your customers, you're advocating for the customers, and medium.com. For those, the person who is asking, what's the blog name? Medium.com. Right. So I'm still waiting for the first person who will define their customers. Who is your customer? Michael K. Sumoni says, high income pregnant women innovation. That is a very good one. I might go deeper. High income. What does high income means? Right? You want to put the brackets. Women. What pregnant women? Are they first trimester, second? You want to be more detailed. You want to also say what age range of pregnant women, right? Even though they are high income, they must also have age. Where would they be? Is it everywhere in Nigeria and all of that? So that's how you keep knowing your customer, be more detailed, right? 26 to 51, awesome. Now, those are right. Dorothy says rural women farmers in Benue State. Awesome, I saw that you edited it. That's nice. Be more rural women farmers in Benue State. Okay, that's a very good targeting. So I want us to keep, you know, to keep defining who are your customers. Do you know how much do you know your customers? Right? Associations, trade unions, cooperatives, student associations that do what? Oladiti Sodiq. This is not your customers. Associations, trade you. Who in the association is your customer? Because this is like a B2B, right? Is it their president, their secretary, secretaries of, because you have to connect with someone in those associations. So you have to know, because it's like a B2B now. Who in those places are your customers? What kind of association? Do they need a kind of number? 5-person association is the association. 20 persons, 100 persons. The more detailed you can be, the more you are a chief customer advocate. And there is something we call GTM in marketing, go to market, especially for those who have products, right? As I'm still waiting for others to share with their customers is, how do you define your path from product validation to getting revenues, because at the end of the day, we want to get revenue, right? The four pillars of GTM is what I'm just saying. The first is, who is your ideal customer profile, your ICP? Focus on the highest pain segment, the ones that you are solving their biggest pain. And that's why I say you must be very detailed. Who is your ideal customer profile? What are their biggest pain points? Then also, what is your value proposition? What are the outcomes that you are going to solve in their life? Not your features. Don't talk about your features. What are the outcomes? Okay, what do you do for the farmers, the rural women farmers? How are you going to change their business and their lives? What specific economic value do you deliver? So now, the channel strategy. How do you think you can reach them? Is it through direct sales? That is talking to them one by one? Is it through having a partnership with them? Is it through digital advertising? Where does your ideal customer profile look for when they are looking for solutions? If associations and secretaries of these associations and trade unions, when they are looking for the kind of problems you are solving for them, where will they go to? When these rural women farmers are looking for, do they go online? Rural women, no. So it means that online might not be your best bet. The pregnant women, where did they look for solutions? They go to some blogs to look for solutions. They ask for other pregnant women or even young mothers to share their experience with them. They go online. These are places where they look for solutions. Also, your pricing model, we've spoken about price, the value-based pricing or cost-based pricing. You have to align your pricing to how your customer perceives their return on investment. So now tell me, these your customers, edit your customers. For those who have shared their who are your customers, edit your customer and tell me their highest pain that you are also solving. So this is your ideal customer profile. And what is the highest pain? Then four things. One, you have told me who is your customer. Don't give me a new chart, just edit your previous chart. Tell me the highest pain you are solving for them. What are the outcomes that your current products would change in their business? Like, what economic value would you deliver to them that will make them trust you, that will make them buy from you, that will make them become your customer? Then finally, tell me, what is your best channel you think you can reach these people? I want to see those on chat now. What's the best channel? Just go and edit. So someone says, my customers are children in the orphanage homes. Oh, beautiful. How will these children know you? How will they see you? Or do you need someone to bring the children to you? What are the strategy, right? So just edit your former and tell me the pain point, the highest pain point, and also the channel strategy. And for those who have B2B, like those who are doing like orphanage business, talking to trade unions, you want to see a shift from volume to precision using AI and automation, right? You don't want to be sending emails to these trade unions and say, dear sir, dear ma. They are now tools that makes you understand them, that when you are emailing them, you are not emailing them like a cold lead. We call them hot leads. The first tool and the biggest tool I will tell you is Clay.ai. For those that are running B2B business, Clay.ai is one of the biggest B2B growth engine right now, because it helps you to scrape LinkedIn for founders in Lagos that are hiring engineers, signaling expansion, a need for your B2B tools. You want to understand where your customers, even their emails. Clay.ai will tell you the emails of your customer. I don't know where to find my customer. I don't know who my customer is. I don't even know the signals that make me understand if my customers need my product, right? Clay.ai will do that. It also helps you understand the company size. What's the size of this company? qualify to be my ideal customer profile? What tech stack are they using? Maybe they are using a lower tech stack and I can deliver a better tech stack. Do they just get funding? It means that they are liquid. A lot of money is flowing in that company. Then I can, you know, get in. That's where Clay.ai comes in. It's your biggest B2B growth engine right now. Also, there's something called signal based selling, because you don't want to cold call. You don't want to just, talk to people in a cold way. You want to ensure that you respond to signals. If someone is raising fund, it means that they have a business is raising fund and you have some solutions for them. You have to go on Clay.ai to look for that signal, and or you use also Crunchbase to it shows you that they have new budget for tech, new budget for scaling. Maybe they just hired a new executive and they want to change their systems. They want to put some new things. You do maybe SMS business, you do maybe innovative business. You can use LinkedIn Sales Navigator to know if there's a new executive hire, right? Hiring for a kind of role, and maybe that would help you to know them more. Indeed. Then also they want to change tech stack. Apollo gives that, it helps you to do that, to know, those who are changing a tool or platform. Also, built with is another tool that can help you. So these are tools that will really help you to understand the signals, because now your leads are no more cold leads. You are now pursuing them based on some kind of signals that helps you to know them. And I always tell people, ask, don't pitch. When you meet people one-on-one and you are talking to someone with your elevator pitch, don't pitch. Ask them, help me understand the cost of doing nothing about your pain points, right? And that would help you to do that. So as we conclude, I'll talk about sales again, because when you go to market and you are taking your product to the market, there are few things you have to understand with the sales feedback loop. Number one, don't listen to people's pain points and the words they use. Those words are what you now use to advertise online. Look back their pain. Be like a mirror, right? Tell them back. You mentioned that X is costing you Y. You mentioned that this problem is costing you this. It helps them like, ooh, this guy understands my pain, right? And when they have told you a specific pain, don't just tell them our products of A, B, C, D, E. They say their product, they are currently facing a problem of B and C. It means that talk about the features of your product that only solves B and C. So sometimes people just talk, we solve A, try to understand them and know which of the features, because you might have 10 features and only 2 features in sales align with them, right? Don't just give them everything like a what do we call that now? A what do we call a buffet? Yeah, don't give them a buffet, right? Tell them what they need. Now, closing. Close based on the return on investment that you think solving X. How much do you think that it saves your customers if they solve a particular problem that you are solving? Not the product price, the return on investment. That's it, right? I've spoken about some of the tools that you might need. HubSpot or Zoho will help you to have a kind of CRM to track your sales pipeline. Not too expensive. Instantly.ai, you can use it for your email campaigns. You want to send emails to people, you have some emails you want to build, try to get instantly.ai. Then Apollo would help you to find emails and phone number in the Nigerian market and sometimes even outside the Nigerian market, right? And I spoke about Paystack, and this is where I will end today, this case study. Paystack, they when they were trying to, market their product, they didn't just market to chief finance officers. They used a signal-based go-to-market strategy that were targeting developers, because they knew that developers were the ones that would actually help they are building stack for people. They're the one that will integrate a payment gateway for them, right? So what they did is that they were looking for developers who are developing a new e-commerce site launch and all of that. And they say, oh, we are working on this, we are working on that. And they ensure that, right, they were targeting, they were not even doing a lot of ads, just they did one billboard in the whole of Lagos, right? But they were doing they found the right segment and knew the target in that segment. And it means that when they were ready to launch, a lot of developers acted on it because they were the trusted people in that ecosystem. If people wanted the payment gateway, they would actually ask the developers who were, so the targeted developers community, developers ecosystem to actually help, and that really helped them. So as I said, marketing is not the art of finding clever ways to dispose your product, to dispose your whatever you do, your solutions. It is actually the art of creating marketing customer value, because it is not just taking your product to the market, it is how much you can, and this is like a quote Philip Kotler did, I just refined a bit. How much do you create value, genuine customer value? Because when people see value in you, people would always come back to your business. So right now, quickly, if there are any questions, I will take them for about 10 minutes. I know it's a long session, said a lot of things because of time. So question time. If you have questions, you want to unmute and quickly ask. Is there anyone speaking? Or you want to put it on the chat? Okay, I feels like there are no questions. So you guys got everything I was trying to pass. Yes, that I was trying to pass to you. All right. So thank you, everyone. It was nice being with you today. Someone sent a message, or probably you might want to ask us question. No, I don't have questions for you. I gave you an assignment. I don't know if you guys have done it. The 5 C's, your own 5 C's. I don't know if you guys have done that. All right, everyone. So I have a very tight schedule, and this is where we'll call it a day. I appreciate you being attentive, and thank you, and bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir. Very, very strong.
Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful session. Please, I've dropped the attendance link in the chat room. Please do it to fill it. And thank you for today's class. See you tomorrow.